So, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl was released in the summer of 2003 and directed by Gore Verbinski. In the events of the film, we follow Will Turner, who is portrayed by Orlando Bloom, who teams up with Captain Jack Sparrow, portrayed by Johnny Depp, as the two of them work together to save the governess's daughter, aka Will's love interest, Elizabeth Swann, portrayed by Keira Knightley, from Jack Sparrow's former pirate allies who are now undead. Before I continue on with today's video, I just wanted to say welcome to my channel, everybody. For those of you who are coming by my channel for the very first time, be sure to hit the subscribe button to not miss a feature video, whether it's a feature review, reaction, top 5, top 10, or whatever I've coming your way, and join me on my journey to 10K subscribers and beyond, because believe me when I say this, guys, you are not going to want to miss the cool stuff I have coming your way. And to those of you who are coming back to my channel, by the way, welcome back, everybody. You have no idea how happy I am to see your faces once again. And let's also start our conversation below as well. What do you guys think of Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, or even more so, out of all 5 entries of the franchise, which one is your favorite? Let me know below. Alrighty guys, so let's get into Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Talking about this movie just brings me back to my childhood, and man, I am really excited to be finally talking about The Curse of the Black Pearl. I cannot believe that I've never done a review of this movie on my channel for you guys, and it blows my freaking mind that this movie came out over 20 years ago. Opening weekend, my dad took my brother and I to go see it, and I was blown away by this movie. Pirates of the Caribbean is one of those few films, especially, and I should specify this, and I will give you guys my quick thoughts on the further films in just a few moments, but just let you guys know, when I define what a perfect summer blockbuster is, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, to me, is a perfect summer blockbuster. Now, it may not be a perfect movie per se, but in terms of a summer blockbuster for a film that you go into the movies to during summertime, you get yourself a big-ass bucket of popcorn, a big soda with some candy, you sit down with a packed audience and enjoy just a great summertime at the movies. Curse of the Black Pearl, to me, is one of those defining examples of an awesome summer blockbuster flick. When it comes down to my thoughts on the subsequent entries to the franchise, I'll give you all my quick thoughts on them right away. Curse of the Black Pearl is such a fun, entertaining, exhilarating, funny, humorous, just a full-blown, just great summer adventure. Dead Man's Chest is a movie that I actually find to be very underrated, with still to this day with some of the best visual effects I have ever laid eyes on, and it's a movie that I do think is a lot better than people give credit for. At World's End it's alright. It's not necessarily a great film, but I will say there are some very entertaining aspects, although the film is just too darn long for it's all good. The final battle is fun, but again, like the runtime of At World's End, it's just too darn long of a movie. That movie could have been cut down at least by 20 minutes. I think the 4th installment was called On Stranger Tides. That's the one that deals with the Fountain of Youth, which, by the way, that concept could have been great, but unfortunately, On Stranger Tides is easily and without a doubt the worst installment of the franchise. That could have been the best adventure since the first one, but unfortunately, that film is a snooze fest with, if you ask me, with one great scene involving the mermaid. Seriously, that's the only good scene. Dead Men Tell No Tales is a fun installment. It's not necessarily a great, nor I would say not really quite a good film, but it's a fun and underrated movie that I do think is a lot better than what people say it is. I thought that I would rewatch and review The Curse of the Black Pearl for you guys as the summer movie season winds down. So here's the thing, guys. I rewatched the film just the other night, and man, this movie still, and I mean it still holds up. Curse of the Black Pearl is such an awesome film, but I will say something about it's more of like a PSA in terms of the 4K transfer. I'm saving that for later, but otherwise, guys, The Curse of the Black Pearl is such an awesome time, and if you have not seen this movie, please do so. It's easily without a doubt, and this is really I mean, this is like easily like the no shit Sherlock statement of this video. The Curse of the Black Pearl is easily the best of the entire franchise. All of the performances of the Curse of the Black Pearl are just so darn good. Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow is easily one of the best characters that has come out of the summer movies of really the 2000s, if you ask me. Johnny Depp is just so charismatic, he's entertaining, has a great amount of swagger to him, he's humorous. Johnny Depp is so great. He's so legendary in this role that guess what, guys? He got nominated for an Oscar nomination for this movie for Best Leading Role. Johnny Depp is just so damn good in the film, and his mannerisms are just absolutely brilliant, especially in this one scene where he just gets slapped repeatedly by the people, I believe on Tortuga. I mean, that scene I thought was still hilarious.
Scarlet! Not sure I deserve that. Giselle.
Who was she?
What? I may have deserved that.
Orlando Bloom is also great in the film as Will Turner. Will Turner's character arc throughout the whole Pirates franchise, I thought was genuinely great in this franchise. If he does happen to continue the Pirates franchise, which I don't think he will, I'd be very happy to see him back, but I will say this. For those of you who have seen Dead Men Tell No Tales, I won't say anything too much for those of you who haven't seen it, but there is a appearance by two particular people, and it did make me go, oh, so they're coming back. I absolutely love Keira Knightley in this role. And by the way, one of my favorite sequences of this movie, and I think one of Keira Knightley's best performances of this movie, is when she encounters the whole undead pirate crew of Captain Barbossa's crew on the Black Pearl. Her reactions to seeing all of the undead crew, oh my god. Keira Knightley brings in such a great performance as a person that could seem like a typical damsel in distress, but Elizabeth Swann is anything but that. Elizabeth Swann is a very smart lady, and not to mention as well, she does help out, especially when needed the most when it comes down to that final battle sequence. Seriously, Keira Knightley is so great in the film, and she does have some great humorous moments in the film too. Gotta end off the performances by talking about Jeffrey Rush as Captain Barbossa, and I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing his name wrong. If not, I am so sorry. Jeffrey Rush as Captain Barbossa is one of my favorite villains I have seen on the big screen, especially of that summer movie season. Jeffrey Rush is so entertaining, he's so charismatic, and he is easily one of the most fun villains that Disney has put together for one of their films. Jeffrey Rush is such a charming villain, he's so entertaining, and honest to God, one of my favorite bits of this movie is when he's telling Elizabeth Swann, hey, you gotta be hungry, you don't need to be formal around here, and just his reaction is seeing Elizabeth Swann just eating to her heart's content. That scene was great. Something else that I gotta talk about, and this thing in particular really stood out as I was rewatching the film the other night, and that's Gore Verbinski's directing. I can't wait for when he makes another film because I miss his directorial style and his vision for films, because here's the thing, guys. Gore Verbinski, along with Pirates of the Caribbean, especially The Curse of the Black Pearl, this movie made pirates badass again, because here's the thing. If I remember correctly, before the release of The Curse of the Black Pearl, pirate movies weren't really doing too well at the box office, especially well from a certain film called Cutthroat Island, which is not good. It's a terrible freaking movie. Gore Verbinski's direction and his vision for Pirates of the Caribbean is so stylish. He brings a sense of grit to it, and he brings this fantastical sense of style to the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. In particular, if you ask me, with the first two movies of the franchise. What Gore Verbinski did along with the screenwriters in bringing a Disneyland ride, or a Disney ride, to the big screen, and not to mention building off this lore with the world building, the story of pirates, not to mention as well the whole lore of Captain Jack Sparrow, Barbossa, the Curse, the Black Pearl, and it's something that did get lost, especially in the fourth and fifth movies. Even though, don't get me wrong, like I said to you guys earlier, even though I do enjoy Dead Men Tell No Tales, but that sense of grit and that sense of style was far lost by the time, especially by Dead Man's Chest. Something else in particular that I just absolutely love about this movie is that this movie is just from beginning to end, and it is non-stop entertaining. Curse the Black Pearl, throughout its almost 2.5-hour runtime, the movie is about 2 hours and 23 minutes, I want to say, something like that. Throughout the whole film's runtime, Curse the Black Pearl is nothing but just an entertaining summer blockbuster throughout its runtime. The film's action, the sword fights, and the ship battles are so much fun to watch. The sword battles in The Curse of the Black Pearl are just such an absolute blast, and in particular, one of my favorite fights, or actually, my favorite fight of the entire film, that is when it's actually the naval combat sequence when the Black Pearl catches up to the Interceptor, and that whole fight just goes along. That fight is just so darn cool. That whole battle sequence, along with the incredible musical score, holy crap. Another thing that I absolutely love about The Curse of the Black Pearl is the overall look, the cinematography, which will bring me to a PSA that I gotta mention, but just bear with me here. The cinematography of The Curse of the Black Pearl is just simply put absolutely badass. There are just shots in this movie that just have this grit, and the way how Gore Verbinski and Dariusz Wolski frame their shots, and how they set up and stage the battle sequences, and how they set up certain shots and the close-ups and these beautiful white shots. I mean, oh my god. This is such a badass looking film, but unfortunately that brings me on to something else I gotta talk about, and that's a PSA. The 4K version of The Curse of the Black Pearl is easily one of the biggest disappointments when it comes down to a 4K transfer. The Curse of the Black Pearl, if you saw it in theaters, or if you saw this movie in its subsequent re-releases, this is such a badass looking film, and I was expecting for the 4K release to be one of the coolest looking 4K transfers out there, but unfortunately it's average at best. In 4K, it still looks good at times, but unfortunately, the biggest thing that I hate about the transfer is the amount of DNR, because the amount of DNR that's in the film actually gets rid of some of the great and the finer details, like the skin tones, the overall look at the production design of the movie. There were so many parts in this movie as I was rewatching it in 4K the other night that I was just thinking, this movie should look a lot better right now, knowing it was shot, I believe, on 35mm film, and knowing how great the color palette actually is in the film. The 4K release is just not a good release, and if you were to ask my professional opinion, or my personal opinion I should say, watch it on Disney Plus, because not only is the color grading a lot better, but it also has Dolby Vision. If you have an OLED like myself, it does look way better on there. Just a PSA, just a warning for you guys out there. The last thing that I gotta mention, and that is the just incredible musical score by, I believe, Claudius. Give me 1 second. Klaus Badelt, I'm pretty sure I butchered his name, but Klaus Badelt did easily provide such an incredible score. And do not get me wrong when I say this to you guys. Even though the main theme of this movie is, to say the least, it's iconic, my favorite track of the film is when Elizabeth Swann first comes across the undead pirate army. That whole musical score is so damn good, and it's easily, to me, the best score of the entire film. And once again, do not get me wrong, the overall musical score is absolutely incredible. But if you were to ask me my favorite track of the entire film, it is easily that scene, because man, that scene is so good. I want to listen to that scene's track right now. It's just that damn good.
Well, that's just fucking great!
I got nothing.
And here we go.
So overall, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl is, simply put, a badass and an awesome summer movie. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl is fun, it's exciting, it's humorous, it's entertaining, but most of all, this movie, if you ask me, is one of the best examples of what an awesome summer blockbuster is. All in all, I'm gonna give Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl a 5 out of 5. The Curse of the Black Pearl is just simply put a badass time, and if you have not seen it, guys, please watch it. It is just simply put awesome. I hope you all enjoyed my review of Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. If so, please hit the like button, or if you dislike this review, hit the dislike button. If you guys want to see my previous 2 reviews, please click right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I will see you all next time.